What I'm about to share with you is the critical piece to absolutely anything you want to create, the transformation of your world, and I do mean that, giving you the control over what happens from this day forward, and will bring peace to you and take you to a different dimension of your choosing. And we're going to talk about why I say of your choosing. I'm going to give you the key to the universe as we know it as humans that could transform everything for you. Are you ready to do this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. I'm going to give you something today. And of course, you know how I like to simplify things? We're going to do it today in a way that encompasses absolutely everything. And what's going to be the key to all of this is that you alone get to make a decision about what I'm going to tell you and how you use it. And that's it. Everything based on science and real results of experiments, not theories or speculation, proves that waves are probabilities. Probabilities upon focus or observation transform into particles. Particles result in situations, events, opportunities, material items. This is a fact. Now here's the critical piece of that. It is an observation from me for the world. It's observation from me for my world. Otherwise, if I focused on something that I desired or a reality, and I truly believed it, and you know the mechanics behind this, you can't fake it. You got to really absolutely know that this is done and this is something you desire, and then you relax about it. It happens. You manifest. If you're a major manifestor, and if you're not, go to landriaonkka.com. I've got all kinds of courses and master classes that show you how to do this. Today, I'm going to assume that you know how to do that, because you're manifesting 24/7. It's not like I'm going to manifest and, how do I manifest? You're doing it right now. So if you don't like what you see out there, then you have to change whatever you're sending out, whatever message you're sending out because you believe or whatever crap's going on in our pea-brain heads is projected out there. That's the focus. So the focus isn't, me looking at something. The focus, my observation, is a thought and a belief in here that is being projected into the quantum field that results in exactly what's happening in your life. Now here's what I want you to remember. If I were to do that and I thought things were a certain way, and they would have to be the same for everybody, that's ridiculous. And that's what's happening right now. People believe that what they observe and think and believe is true for everybody. And that's impossible. We have free will. So everyone is out there, and this is where chaos has been, here on this planet forever. It's because everybody in that state, lower density of thinking, is looking at something and believes that it's supposed to be that way for everybody, and that that's just how it is. And the truth is, it is for you. And even spiritual people, and I see them on my channel and comments, this is how it is, and they'll find out that, that they should be spiritual, and they'll come around or they'll suffer, is equally as bad as, or I shouldn't say bad, equally as dense as those people who believe certain things that are, cataclysmic or negative. They believe just as strongly. But the mutual consent here is that each of these parties, spiritual or non-spiritual, has this belief that this is how it is for everybody, and that if somebody doesn't think or believe like you, they're wrong. This is causing conflict on our planet. This is at the root of every single problem on this planet. It causes conflict, struggle, ego. You need to believe what I do. And my reality is here, so now you want to project it on everybody else. Now, here's what happens. People will say, well, wait a second. What about people that do come into my world? They're only coming into your world, and I call it super entanglement, because everything's really connected. Everything's connected. But super entanglement, with if you come into my reality, or you come into, somebody comes into your space, or a job shows up, whatever, that entanglement is a mutual consent by two parties, 3, 4, whatever. So those parties have to have a focus on that probability, and they become entangled, and that's why certain people will show up in your life, certain jobs will show up, because they're on that other side of your desire, the thing that has a mutual consenting desire will show up, and you connect, you become entangled. So then it becomes real for that party and you, because you both are in the same frequency, belief, desire, whatever it is. When you argue with somebody, you are in the lowest effing density, and you got to knock it off. Spiritual butt kick, my friend. Knock it off. Arguing. Stupidity of the human species. An argument is a statement that what I believe in my little existence here, because that's where you're thinking from. You are the universe. But when you're in that state of mind, I believe this is how it is. And everybody should think this. And if you don't, I'm going to argue. And then so you're in conflict with yourself. Because that person you're arguing with is you. You're letting the body fool you and think that this is who you are. And it's not. You are unlimited probabilities, every opinion, every action, every desire, all of it. You're all of it. But you as the human being get to order all these things. But most people are ordering nasty stuff because they're living in fear. And this is why I have my channel, Breaking Through Fear, one light being at a time, which is you. It's me. It's that person, one person. Not projecting my stuff on somebody else and how they should be. The world would be great if they did that. That thought alone makes the world not great for you. So when you stop thinking that, and you have total acceptance that every person out there is making their own individual reality choices, all you can do is create the highest frequency for yourself. Judge nothing, and know that all of these things will start to go into a higher frequency and become super entangled as they come together in peace and one. Those who will not join that frequency. But to judge that and say they're wrong puts you down there with them. I know it's a little scary. It's true. It's true. Why? Quantum physics, my friend. Because you are now focused on somebody is wrong. Somebody needs to think the way you do. Which is ridiculous. Because every probability is true. For you. And you get to, and you alone get to choose yours. It is not true for everybody. That's ridiculous. Right? I'm American in a Midwest family with white people, and so or maybe brought up with a certain religion, and so this is how I think. You don't think that maybe that's an influence on my thoughts and beliefs? If I was in another country with another culture, I'd be thinking completely different. It's ridiculous to think that you as an individual with your experience and your beliefs and your influences is how things are for everyone. Our differences should be celebrated. Our diversities are freaking amazing and beautiful. And when you go against that, you go against the one, God, whatever you want to call it. Who do you think created that? I'll never forget a relative of mine who was brought up a certain way, long time ago when I was a child, made a comment about a certain culture. And I looked at her and I said, who do you think made all of us, all people? She says, what do you mean? I said, well, who do you think created all people? She says, well, God. I said, so you think God made a mistake? Do you think God doesn't love that person because of their culture? She never spoke that way again. I think I was 5 when I told her that. From the mouth of babes, right? Do you think God made a mistake with those people that you may think are wrong? With wealthy people? So many of you are so against wealthy people with power. There's nothing wrong with wealth. It's the egos controlling it that do things that are not good for other people. But if you're judging that, then you're right down there in that density. It's not about that thought or what's right or wrong. It's the judgment of anything is down here. It is not the 5th dimension. It's not awakening. It's density and destruction of the planet and your life. Every single thing that has happened in your life, every single thing has been a choice by you. All of it. And if you deny that, then that's your reality. Not only are you not taking responsibility for it, you're not seeing the value in the things that have challenged you, and you're disempowering yourself. You're saying that there's some other force that has just done this to you and that you're a victim. And that's your reality. And when you stop believing that and you take control and realize, what was I supposed to learn from that? Because I can rise above that. Why does somebody, oh, poor little me, oh, and I'm in an abusive relationship. Who did that? Who did that? We have to take responsibility for every single choice, and it's just for you, not me. So when something happens, and it's not something I desire, I look at it and say, what transpired up until this point that I participated in, it was entangled in, that created that? You cannot control somebody else. So you may have done all the right things, right? And somebody else may do something that surprises you, or maybe they go off the deep end. There's a lot of people freaking out right now. They've been indoors alone too long. But that's a choice of theirs. So then they're making a choice, and if you want to make a higher choice, maybe you just step away and let them freak out down here. Not to judge it. You're going to switch out friends and frequencies. A lot of that's going to go on. So you get to choose. Are you going to be in that and start to argue, especially about the powers, that are going in? So what? Big whoop. When, this has been going on for centuries. When we stop giving that power away and realize my reality is what I choose, what's my life going to be like? Because no matter what happens out there, I'm still in control of how I feel, how I think, how I feel, how I feel, how I think, what I do, and what I create. Am I going to be the victim of that? Then my reality is that I have no power and that others are controlling my happiness, my country, my destiny. Okay. I'm totally in control of everything right here. Because no matter what happens, I see an opportunity for me to be something greater. I see an opportunity for positive change with how we treat our animals and our planet and each other. And you can say, well, how do I do something? What are you doing as an individual? It seems great. It seems like, how do I as a one little person make a difference? You do. A huge one. But if you think you don't, then you will sit there for the rest of your life in that density. Poor little me, I'm powerless, all that's happening out there. And you'll die and go to the other, you'll transform and think, I had so much power and opportunity, and it didn't really take a lot. I could have stopped using plastic. I could have stopped eating crap, I could have stopped putting chemicals on my lawn. So many things you can do. I could be the person that goes and volunteers for animals, or go to a nursing home, or do something right now that get creative. But instead we're focused on the negativity, and that's your world. You're creating it, and you're going to go down, because there's nothing nice about that. It is all chaos and arguing and the egos all having to be right. And even if you're a spiritual person believing that you're right, you are not different than the lower densities down there arguing. You're not. So don't tell yourself you're all awakened. If that's even going through your head, you're still in conflict with yourself. Humanity and the power of the one that does not say right or wrong, doesn't take sides, sits back and watches us turn on each other. Did you see my Twilight Zone video? What are you going to do? Because today, all you have to do is say, I'm choosing my own reality. It doesn't have to be somebody else's. If you guys want to sign up for the New Earth Workshop or the New Earth Masterclass, you can go to landriaonkka.com. You can sign up for my Manifest Anything free video series. Once a week you get from me. I talk about how to manifest. Where does that start? And the first video that I give you is that you cannot control your manifesting in the way that you desire if you don't believe you have the power. If you think there's outside forces, that's the first thing we have to claim. And then when you do it, in quantum field says yes, you do have the power. If you say I don't have the power, the quantum field says yes, you are limited. It doesn't judge, neither should you. So go down. Also, you guys, here's my internet marketing training. We are kicking butt here. We have an amazing spiritual community. You don't have to get into the spiritual stuff. It's just, when I say spiritual, people that are creating online businesses, coaches, holistic, all kinds of really cool stuff, health and wellness, products and services. You don't have to have products or services. Get out of your head about your limitations and what other things are. Quit judging other stuff. Do it or don't. Do it or don't. If you want to criticize, talk to the hand. Because you will never get a negative video on my channel, ever. Because my reality is that the world is amazing and that every single person on here is a perfect light being. And anything out of that is just what they're choosing to create. And some of it's pretty horrible. But we came on this planet by choice. And so we have to ask ourselves, how am I going to contribute to raise the frequency that will affect that person, who will then possibly make a different choice next time when they pick up on that collective consciousness. And next time they want to do something nasty, they're going to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it. I don't know why, but my world just changed. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my beautiful, perfect light being. Everything else is the story, and only you can choose it. It's all coming from you. Nothing else, no one else, no circumstances, no government. It's all coming from you. What are you going to choose? Namaste.